चाहिए और कार्रवाई होना चाहिए।
धन्यवाद। Honorable Member Supriya Sule ji.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I speak on behalf of the Nationalist Congress Party regarding the problem of the drug abuse. I thank my colleagues and friends, Mrs. Badal, Midun Reddy and Gurjeet Singh Aujala, who have initiated this debate. Sir, the drug abuse issue is a very, very serious issue. And I think the country needs to hear it in one voice from this house, that this is not a place to make political speeches. This is a subject where the entire nation must stand with the government, and I think we unanimously need to fight against this menace of drug abuse. Sir, I stand here because it's a very serious issue for me personally as well. For the reason that I grew up in Mumbai, drugs was something very far distant. And when I went to study in America and then I came back, and there were two people who we knew were evil or bad in society. One was Pablo Escobar and the other one was the series which most people have seen called El Chapo. These were big drug dealers who controlled almost the world. They started it in South America, back into America, and the whole world knew who all these people were. Pablo Escobar controlled money, controlled drugs, controlled the media, controlled. It was a huge power because he had money in it. And the entire economy of the drugs, which what was media says or what one gets in reading, is about $650 billion globally. So it's a huge business. And I think there is no government, whether you're sitting on this side or that side, would support drugs or dealing in drugs. So I think what we really need to put our minds together is what are we going to do to stop this and how we can all work together with the government to stop this menace. I feel I stand here not just as a citizen or a member of parliament, but I'm mother also of two young children. And I think as a mother, the biggest challenge, किसी माँ को जब बच्चे बड़े होते हैं और 16, 17, 18 साल के होते हैं, उसके मन में चिंता रहती है कि मेरा बच्चा अच्छा पढ़ाई करे और ये शराब और नशे में न फंसे. तो हर माँ और फैमिली की कोशिश रहती है कि वो बच्चा पढ़ाई करे, दोस्तों से साथ हंसी मजाक कर ले, लेकिन उसके सबसे ज़्यादा पीड़ा कुछ देती है एक माँ को, तो वो अगर उसका बच्चा कोई नशा करता है तो. So drug abuse is not only an issue in isolation. You cannot, the entire family suffers when these kind of things happen. So what are we going to do with the new age? Constantly people are talking, my friend Shiv Kumar constantly talks about cryptocurrency and darknet. I would like to bring that issue, and I think the Home Ministry really needs to address this, that this entire drug menace that we are dealing with, how are people transacting? It's no more just कहीं गए कोने में और drugs ले लिए. Nowadays you can order them, you can pay through crypto, you can pay through the darknet. And when you have, we don't have any regulations made or rules made because we've not been able to control. We taxed crypto at 30% when we didn't have rules for cryptocurrency in India. So how are you going to handle this drug menace given? Just last week, our friend from Biju Janata Dal spoke about the acid which was thrown on a woman. So Mehtabji talked about it. Now he had ordered the gentleman, not a gentleman, the culprit who had ordered the acid, he had bought it on the net. So net has become a big transaction point. And so darknet and cryptocurrency are biggest challenges that we are going to have. And access. There is huge access. Every government, whether it's there or ours, has always worked that making sure कि किसी school या college के सामने drugs ना मिले. But we all know it that हर school or college के पास drugs मिलते हैं. अभी कौन से drugs मिलते हैं वो नहीं. And they keep evolving with time. There was, when I talk about Pablo Escobar, that was in my times. That time, I think in the 90s, there was a drug called ecstasy, which was very well known. There is so much more evolution in all these drugs. They are in different forms. They are more potent. They are more chemical oriented. So what is the government doing in streamlining this? And we want to work with you in together. What is the way that we can work with? Because we are all on the same side. This is like the COVID war. We all were together against the virus. The same way we are together against this entire horrible menace of drugs. Now, another thing is the taboo in the drugs. I read a lot about this program, Nasha Mukti ka jo program ye sarkar chala rahi hai. Now, in the Nasha Mukti, there are two major gaps that I see in the program. That the stigma, how are you going to? We passed the mental health bill in this house. So mental health, which was sab lagte the and mental matlab pagal. That's not how it's looked at. It's got a different. So I mean, you look at icons in society. Now look at Deepika Padukone as an example. She said she was depressive. That's when mental health became that if Deepika Padukone can be depressed, so maybe it's okay to do it. So people need recognition that isko ho raha hai to mujhe ho raha hai to usme koi galti nahi hai. Sanjay Dutt, I would like to put it on record. I have seen that case as a young girl. He was a superstar and icon for us. But then what he went through, the drug abuse, he came out of it. His family went through a very difficult time, but they fought against it as a family. So these are success stories. They have had their own challenges. So how can we use these icons to tell children and the strength to produce to say no to drugs? I think we have to have academic discussions. We need to take all our stakeholders, and you must go beyond the 193 and take all your stakeholders on board. Get colleges on board and make a national program of say no to drugs. And let's not trivialize this. I mean, Satyapal Singh ji is a very accomplished person, but I wish he had talked about some success stories of Maharashtra. I take great pride. Doesn't matter who's in power, whether we are in power or they are in power in Maharashtra, but Maharashtra police have done a wonderful job. He talked about drinking and driving. The best success story of drinking and driving is our Mumbai police. They made sure that no child parent are today petrified. Nobody drinks and drives in Mumbai today because the police have done a wonderful job in Maharashtra, and we are very proud of it. Doesn't matter who the Home Minister was, it's the police who implemented it. So why cannot we talk about such success stories which are all over the country? Sir, another small point is access about this. Do you think in school education we can talk about this? Because it's still a taboo, but it exists in society. So is there something during education, can we have some activity-based programs where children talk about this? And things are available. The way gutka, we banned gutka in Maharashtra, but gutka is available today. The same thing as drugs. So what is the best way we can do this? Just one last point, sir. The only thing is that NCB, high-profile cases. I would like to put it on record that there are a lot of high-profile cases which get discussed on every television channel. Sometimes the person is even innocent. So how are you controlling all your officers and making them accountable? If they pick up a child who needs help, he doesn't need to or she doesn't need to go to jail. They need to go to a rehab center. They need help. They are not some convicts. So I think we need to relook at this policy that any child, whoever it is, and why should we only go into high-profile cases? There are a lot of youngsters, women and men, who are in jail today, sometimes because of the whims and fancies of some officer. So how are you going to make it accountable? If you really want this drug menace to be, you have to be fair and you have to be just.
Thank you.
Every citizens of this and every child. So give the confidence to every parent that the government is not here to harass their children, but help their children. That's what governments are supposed to be. So we need a holistic plan and a good support system for emotion and professionals to help, because we don't have enough professionals to walk these children when they are through these drug abuse situations. So I think we need an education program also for this. And I would like to tell the government again that we are here in one voice. We support this 193. Please bring a comprehensive bill. We will support you, get all the stakeholders, and let's get this drug menace out of our nation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Member Sri Achanand Samantaji.